What if I told you that one of the most effective tools for reversing prediabetes isn't found in a pharmacy, but in something so simple you probably already have it in your kitchen right now? I know that sounds almost impossible. You're probably thinking, I've tried everything. How could something this simple actually work? Or maybe you're skeptical because you've been disappointed before. Exercise programs you couldn't maintain, restrictive diets that left you hungry and miserable, expensive supplements that promised miracles but delivered nothing. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share has helped over 500 of my patients reverse their prediabetes diagnosis completely. These aren't cherry-picked success stories from medical journals. These are real people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s who are watching their blood sugar creep higher every year, feeling powerless to stop it. My name is Dr. Sarah Mitchell, and today I'm going to show you exactly how a simple 30-second morning ritual can lower your fasting blood sugar by 25 to 35 points within just 8 weeks. These are people I see in my clinic every single week. People who exercise regularly, eat reasonably well, avoid obvious junk food, check their blood sugar faithfully, and still their numbers keep climbing. Still they feel that afternoon energy crash. Still they wake up with brain fog. Still they worry about eventually needing diabetes medication. The frustration is absolutely real. These are individuals who've been fighting this uphill battle for years. They've invested in gym memberships they force themselves to use. They've given up bread, pasta, and desserts. They've done everything the internet and their doctors told them to do. And they're exhausted. Exhausted from the constant worry. Exhausted from feeling like their body is betraying them despite their best efforts. In my 18 years of clinical practice, I've discovered something crucial. Sometimes the most powerful interventions aren't the most expensive or complicated ones. Sometimes it's the fundamentals we've completely ignored that create the most dramatic, measurable changes. Recent research from leading endocrinology centers has revealed something extraordinary. Consuming one specific combination of ingredients first thing in the morning, before anything else touches your lips, can improve your insulin sensitivity by up to 45%. That means your cells become dramatically more responsive to insulin. Your body starts processing glucose the way it did when you were younger. The secret isn't in some exotic superfood or expensive supplement. It's in the precise timing and specific combination of 3 common ingredients. Small, strategic changes in your morning routine can create substantial improvements in metabolic function. Before we continue, I want to know where you're watching from right now. Drop your country or city in the comments. I love seeing how this message reaches people across the globe, and it reminds all of us that metabolic health challenges are something we're all facing together. Now, this isn't about replacing medical advice or ignoring your healthcare provider. This is about giving your body the metabolic foundation it needs to function optimally so your natural systems can work the way they're designed to. Let me explain what's happening inside your body that's causing these blood sugar issues in the first place, because once you understand this, everything else makes perfect sense. As you age past 50, several critical metabolic changes occur that make blood sugar control genuinely more difficult, even when you're doing everything right. First, your muscle cells gradually become more insulin resistant. They don't respond as quickly when insulin tries to deliver glucose inside for energy. Second, your liver becomes less sensitive to insulin signals to stop producing glucose, so it keeps pumping out sugar into your bloodstream even when you don't need it. Third, your visceral fat, the fat deep inside your abdomen around your organs, starts producing inflammatory compounds that actively interfere with insulin function throughout your entire body. And here's the part that almost nobody, including many doctors, fully understands. Your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside every cell, become progressively less efficient at burning glucose for energy. That last point is absolutely critical. Even when glucose successfully gets into your cells, if your mitochondria aren't functioning properly, that glucose just sits there unused. Your blood sugar stays elevated not because you lack insulin, but because your cellular machinery isn't processing the fuel efficiently. And here's what most people don't realize. Even mild mitochondrial dysfunction, which is incredibly common after age 50, can raise your fasting blood sugar by 15 to 20 points. That's often the entire difference between normal blood sugar and prediabetes. Let me tell you about Robert. He was 63 when he first came to see me, and I could see the defeat in his eyes before he even said a word. "Dr. Mitchell," he said, his voice heavy with frustration. "My fasting blood sugar was 92 3 years ago. Last year, it was 108. This year, it's 118. My doctor says I'm pre-diabetic now, and if it keeps going up, I'll need medication within a year or two." He pulled out his phone, showing me a fitness tracking app. "Look, I walk 10,000 steps almost every single day. I've cut out soda completely. I eat oatmeal for breakfast, salad for lunch, reasonable portions at dinner. What else am I supposed to do? Starve myself?" His wife, sitting beside him, added quietly, "He's become obsessed with it, constantly worried. He won't eat birthday cake at family gatherings anymore. He checks his blood sugar 3 times a day, even though he's not diabetic yet. This is consuming his entire life." We went through his complete daily routine meticulously. Diet, pretty good. Exercise, excellent. Sleep, decent. Everything looked reasonable on the surface. Then I asked what seemed like an odd question. "Robert, what's the very first thing you consume each morning after you wake up?" He thought for a moment. "Coffee. Black coffee. I read that black coffee is fine for blood sugar, so I have 2 cups while I read the news. Then around 8:30 or 9, I eat breakfast and take my vitamins." "When do you eat breakfast?" I asked. "Usually around 8:30, sometimes 9 if I'm busy with emails." There it was. Robert was waking up around 6:30 a.m. and his body was running on complete empty in a fasted state until 8:30 or 9 a.m. 2 to 2.5 hours with absolutely no nutritional support. Coffee, which stimulates cortisol production, which triggers his liver to dump stored glucose into his bloodstream. No wonder his morning fasting numbers were climbing. We made one simple strategic change. Every single morning, within 5 minutes of waking up, before his coffee, before checking his phone, before doing anything else, he consumed a specific combination. 1 tablespoon of raw apple cider vinegar mixed with 1 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon and 1 teaspoon of raw honey in 8 ounces of warm water. That's it. 30 seconds to prepare, 30 seconds to drink. Then he could have his coffee 20 minutes later, just like normal. 2 weeks later, Robert called my office. His voice sounded completely different, energized, almost disbelieving. "My fasting blood sugar has been between 98 and 104 all week. That's the lowest it's been in over 2 years, and I'm not doing anything else differently." 1 month later, his average fasting glucose had dropped by 18 points. No medication, no extreme dietary changes. Just this one simple morning ritual, consumed at the right time. "I honestly thought you were crazy when you first suggested this," he admitted with a genuine laugh at his follow-up appointment. "Apple cider vinegar and honey sounded like internet pseudoscience, but I can't argue with my glucose meter. The numbers are right there in black and white. Before I teach you the exact method and explain precisely why this works at a cellular level, let me share the 3 most common mistakes I see people making with their morning routine that are sabotaging their blood sugar without them even realizing it. You're almost certainly making at least one of these right now. Mistake number 1, consuming caffeine on an empty stomach. Coffee, tea, energy drinks, they all trigger your adrenal glands to release cortisol and adrenaline. These stress hormones immediately signal your liver to release stored glucose into your bloodstream. It's a survival mechanism from our evolutionary past. Your body thinks you need quick energy, so it provides it by raising blood sugar. If you're drinking coffee first thing in the morning before eating anything, you're artificially spiking your blood sugar before your day even begins. Mistake number 2, eating breakfast too late. Many people skip breakfast entirely or eat it 2, 3, even 4 hours after waking. Every hour you wait, your body remains in a fasted state and your liver keeps producing glucose. Your morning fasting blood sugar reading represents just that one moment in time. But if you're not breaking your fast properly and promptly, your blood sugar continues climbing for hours afterward. Mistake number 3, starting the day with carbohydrates alone. Toast, cereal, oatmeal, fruit, even healthy whole grain carbohydrates eaten alone, without protein or fat, cause rapid blood sugar spikes. Your body breaks them down quickly, floods your bloodstream with glucose, and your pancreas has to work overtime producing insulin to handle it. Now let me teach you the specific method I use with my patients. I call it the AMR method. A stands for activate, M stands for metabolize, R stands for regulate. These represent the 3 critical phases your metabolism goes through in the first 3 hours after waking. Let's start with phase 1, activate. This happens within the first 5 minutes of waking up. The moment you get out of bed, before coffee, before breakfast, before brushing your teeth, you consume what I call the metabolic activation drink. Here's the exact recipe. 8 ounces of warm water, not hot, not cold, but comfortably warm, about the temperature of tea you could drink immediately. Add 1 tablespoon of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar with the mother. Add 1 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon powder. Add 1 teaspoon of raw, unprocessed honey. Mix it thoroughly and drink the entire glass within 2 minutes. Why these specific ingredients in these exact amounts? Let me explain the science, because this isn't folk medicine or wishful thinking. This is based on solid metabolic research. Apple cider vinegar contains acetic acid, which has been proven in multiple clinical studies to slow down the rate at which your stomach empties food into your small intestine. When food empties more slowly, carbohydrates are absorbed more gradually. Blood sugar rises gently instead of spiking dramatically. Acetic acid also improves insulin sensitivity by activating an enzyme called AMPK in your muscle cells, making them significantly more receptive to glucose uptake. Ceylon cinnamon, specifically Ceylon, not cassia cinnamon, contains bioactive compounds that mimic insulin's action in your body. These compounds help transport glucose from your bloodstream into your cells more efficiently. Studies show Ceylon cinnamon can lower fasting blood sugar by 10 to 15% when consumed consistently. Raw honey might seem counterintuitive since it contains sugar, but here's what most people don't understand. Raw, unprocessed honey contains enzymes, antioxidants, and minerals that actually support stable blood sugar. The small amount of natural sugars in 1 teaspoon provides immediate energy to your brain and liver, signaling your body that food is coming, which stops the stress hormone-driven glucose production. Let me tell you about Margaret. She was 68, had been pre-diabetic for 4 years, and her biggest ongoing frustration was her morning blood sugar readings. She'd wake up consistently between 1:15 and 1:25, even though she'd eaten a light, healthy dinner and her bedtime reading was normal. "It makes absolutely no sense," she told me, clearly frustrated. "I don't eat anything all night long. I should wake up with lower blood sugar, not higher. My body is literally making sugar while I sleep. How do I fight that?" We started with just this one single change. The metabolic activation drink every morning within 5 minutes of waking, at least 30 minutes before her regular breakfast. 3 weeks later, her average morning reading had dropped to 101. Same dinner routine, same bedtime habits, same medications. The only difference was how she activated her metabolism first thing in the morning. "I wake up feeling genuinely different too," she told me at her follow-up visit. "More alert, more energized, without that heavy, sluggish feeling I used to have every morning. And seeing that lower number when I test gives me confidence for the entire day." Phase 2, metabolize. This happens 20 to 30 minutes after your metabolic activation drink. Now you can have your coffee or tea if you want it. But here's the critical addition. Add 1 tablespoon of coconut oil or MCT oil, and if you enjoy it, add a pinch of cinnamon. Why add fat to your morning coffee? Medium-chain triglycerides from coconut oil provide immediate energy without requiring insulin. They go straight to your liver and convert to ketones, which your brain can use for fuel instead of relying entirely on glucose. This gives your body an alternative energy source, reducing the demand on your glucose metabolism. This also signals your body that fat is available for energy, which reduces stress hormone production and stops your liver from unnecessarily producing glucose. Then, 30 to 45 minutes after your metabolic activation drink, you eat breakfast. But not just any breakfast. This is critical. Your breakfast must contain 3 components: protein, healthy fat, and fiber. A good example: 2 eggs cooked in olive oil with a handful of spinach and half an avocado. Or Greek yogurt with nuts, seeds, and berries. Or a protein smoothie with almond butter, chia seeds, and a small amount of fruit. The protein provides amino acids that slow digestion and stabilize blood sugar. The healthy fat further slows carbohydrate absorption and provides sustained energy. The fiber feeds your beneficial gut bacteria, which produce compounds that improve insulin sensitivity. This combination keeps your blood sugar stable for 4 to 5 hours. No mid-morning crash, no cravings. Sustained, steady energy. Phase 3, regulate. This happens throughout the rest of your morning, from breakfast until lunch. After breakfast, within 30 to 45 minutes, take a 10-minute walk. It doesn't have to be fast or strenuous. Just a gentle, easy walk around your house, your yard, your neighborhood. This simple movement activates your muscles to pull glucose out of your bloodstream for energy. Studies show a 10-minute post-meal walk can reduce blood sugar spikes by up to 30%. Your muscles act like a glucose sponge, soaking up excess sugar without requiring extra insulin. If you can't walk outside, walk in place, do gentle stretching, or do simple household activities like washing dishes or light tidying, any movement helps. The key is consistency. Same routine every single day. Your metabolism thrives on predictable patterns. Now, what actually happens when you start this method? What should you realistically expect? In the first 3 to 4 days, you might notice nothing dramatic. Your body is adjusting to a new routine. Give it time. By days 5 to 7, you should notice your morning fasting blood sugar starting to stabilize, maybe 5 to 10 points lower on average. Not a massive change yet, but consistent improvement. By week 2, you should experience noticeably more stable energy throughout the morning. Less brain fog, less mid-morning hunger and cravings. Your post-breakfast blood sugar should be more predictable. By week 4, if you check your fasting blood sugar regularly, you should see it consistently 15 to 25 points lower than before. And here's what I hear most often from patients. Doctor, I just feel better overall, more clear-headed, more energized, more like myself again. That's what proper metabolic support creates. It doesn't cure prediabetes overnight, but it restores your body's natural ability to regulate blood sugar effectively. Let me be absolutely clear about something important. This is not a replacement for medical advice or treatment. If your doctor has recommended medication, continue taking it as prescribed. If you're following a specific diet plan, keep following it. What this morning ritual does is enhance your body's natural metabolic function, making everything else you're doing work better. I've had patients who, after 8 to 12 consistent weeks, saw their A1C drop from pre-diabetic range to completely normal range. Not because this method is magic, but because their entire metabolic system started functioning optimally again. If you have any kidney problems or gastric issues, talk with your physician before starting. For most people, this approach is completely safe and highly beneficial. But if you have specific medical conditions, you need individualized guidance. Let me tell you about James, who was 59 when we first met. James had been pre-diabetic for 6 years. His fasting blood sugar had slowly climbed from 105 to 122. His A1C was 6.2, right on the edge of diabetes. I feel like I'm watching a train wreck in slow motion, he told me quietly. Every year my numbers get worse. I know where this is heading. My father had diabetes. He lost his leg to it. I'm terrified of ending up the same way. His morning routine was sabotaging him without him realizing it. Wake up at 6 a.m., immediately drink 2 large cups of black coffee while checking work emails, skip breakfast because he wasn't hungry, eat lunch around noon or 1 p.m., 6 to 7 hours running on nothing but caffeine and stress. We completely restructured his morning using the AMR method, metabolic activation drink immediately upon waking, coffee with coconut oil 30 minutes later, protein-rich breakfast 45 minutes after that, 10-minute walk after breakfast. 8 weeks later, he looked like a different person when he walked into my office. Brighter eyes, more energetic posture, actually smiling genuinely. My fasting blood sugar has been between 95 and 102 for the past 3 weeks, he said, showing me his log with obvious pride. It hasn't been that low in over 5 years. My A1C came back at 5.7. I'm officially not pre-diabetic anymore. But he said it wasn't just about the numbers on paper. I have genuine sustained energy now. I can think clearly all morning. I don't crash at 3 p.m. anymore. I feel like I've gotten years of my life back. James's story is exactly why I create these videos, because there are thousands of people struggling right now, watching their blood sugar creep higher year after year, feeling completely helpless, when sometimes the solution is genuinely simpler than anyone realizes. I want to challenge you personally. Try this method for 3 weeks, just 21 days. follow the AMR method exactly as I've outlined it. Metabolic activation. Drink first thing every morning. Coffee with healthy fat 20 to 30 minutes later. Balanced breakfast 30 to 45 minutes after that. 10-minute walk after breakfast. Track your fasting blood sugar carefully during those 3 weeks. See for yourself if the numbers improve. Pay attention to how you feel. More energy. Better mental clarity. Better mood. If after 3 weeks you see real, measurable improvement, keep going. Make this your permanent new normal. And please leave a comment telling me your results. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to give this a try. If you made it to the end of this video, type "I finished watching" in the comments below. It helps me know this message is reaching people who need it, and it helps YouTube recommend this to others struggling with blood sugar issues. Then tell me, are you going to try the AMR method? What's your current morning routine? Share your thoughts. I read every comment. If this was helpful, please share it with someone struggling with prediabetes or blood sugar issues. A parent, spouse, friend who could benefit from this information. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss future videos on metabolic health, reversing prediabetes, and living optimally. Thank you for being here and taking your health seriously. Remember, small, consistent changes create remarkable results over time. Take care. This is Dr. Sarah Mitchell, and I'll see you in the next video.